Hello to all the Year 9 Commercial Studies students. This is the first class for Strand number 1, Personal Finance. I hope you have read through the last slide and the lesson objectives. On the summary of lesson objective, the first one is the definition for personal finance. Number 2, listing of needs and wants for students and families. Number 3, prioritizing needs and wants. Number 4, setting goals. Now on to commercial studies. The study of commercial studies. Now we have there the rationale for studying commercial studies. It says commercial studies provide the knowledge, skills, understanding, and values that form the foundation on which young people make sound decisions on consumer, financial, business, and employment issues. Next point, it promotes in students an understanding of the concepts and develops competencies for personal financial management. Through the study of commercial studies, students develop financial literacy skills which enable them to participate in an informed way. That is taken out from the syllabus, page number 5. Now, it's underlined there, develop financial literacy skills. So this particular topic on personal finance, we will be looking at personal finance, which develop your financial literacy skills personally. For those who are looking forward to do science when they come up to year 11, this is very important for you for these 2 years to learn as much as possible for commercial studies before you jump on to science. Provides you an opportunity to have a good understanding about finance, the basics, and especially this one here on personal finance. And year 9, these are the topics that you'll be covering this year. Strand number 1, the first topic that we'll be dealing with this class is needs and wants, and the rest of those topics will come later in order. You may find them up in the table of content in your textbook. And this particular strand should take us 9 weeks to complete in a normal study, normal school calendar. So 9 weeks for all those topics from needs and wants right down to issues and trends. Now, personal finance. What is personal finance? It is the study of financial practices that focus mainly on meeting the individual or family financial needs for both short and long-term financial goals. Now we have the word there, financial goals. What are financial goals? We'll just go through this one here. 7 goals. One of those goals could be saving for down payment in order to buy a house. Number 2, for family vacation. Number 3, financial goal could be to start investing. Number 4, financial goal could be to pay off your debts. Number 5 could be to have a good household budget. So your goal is to have a good household budget and stick to that budget. And number 6, to be able to cut down on your spending. So those are some of the goals. Reduce your spending, and you're going to create ways of reducing those spending. Number 7 is to create an emergency fund. And when something happens, you should not go around borrowing money. You should be able to get out from the emergency fund and pay for whatever is there. So that is some of the goals that we are having here, financial goals. Another example is given there, but I will not go through. It says there 10 steps to creating a solid financial plan, and there are many others. Some other website has got the 6 steps or 15 steps and they have certain ways of getting people to reach their financial goal. Now, what are needs? Needs are those things that we must have in order to survive. Examples of basic needs for survival are food, water, shelter, and clothing. So those are needed in order to survive. I would not prefer writing down air because you do not have to search for it. Water, yes. Food, yes. For shelter and clothing, uh, due to changes in climate, you might not survive without those two. And these are the basic needs for survival. Now, in this particular pyramid, we will see the other needs as a human being: safety, belonging, or love, esteem, and self-actualization. Now, what we're concerned right now is the lowest one, which is the physiological need. This is basic. Without this, the other needs does not matter. You won't live to meet those other needs. So first, you need to survive, and that is the lowest form. This pyramid, you might encounter them later in your study as you go up higher into higher institutions. Now, for this one here, we are concerned with the physiological or basic survival, need for survival. What are wants? These are those things that we can live without but makes our life comfortable. Some examples are pets, cars, candy, toys, and you can see there thinking of various stuff to have or to visit, and the list goes on. And you might have it, and maybe in your worksheet there's a lot of lists there. There's a unlimited number of things that you can write down as your wants. But for needs, there are only 4 things. But wants, there's unlimited number of things that you can write down for your wants. Now we have covered the needs and wants separately. Now let us look at them together in this particular slide. First, we will see the needs, where we have the water, food, clothing, and shelter for different communities. And then on the other side, we have wants: airplane, tablet, ship, and the list that are there. Next one, mobile phone. How do you regard mobile phone? Is it your need or your wants? Next one, bread. How do you regard bread as need or wants? Soap. Do you regard that as your need or wants? Candy. Water. I think we'll all agree that water is our needs. Fruits. Bicycle. Clothing. Yes, that's our needs. Soil for agriculture, planting. Computer. Now for computer, for me as a person, I do not need computer in order to survive. But for my job, I need it. So if I have to list down the need for computer, the need in my job, I would write down computer. But the need for basic survival, no, it is just the one. Electricity. How do you regard table? Cars. Dishes. Healthcare. Are you healthy? Do you need healthcare every now and then? Do you consider this as your need or your want? Last one, shoes. So by going through this, we can learn that some of these things we need in order to survive. But when we change our role, for example, from being just a person to a person who is working, some of those items becomes a need in the place of work. And so these are something that we have to take account of, our needs and our wants. Sometimes they are complicated because they really do impact our budget as a family or as a person, to regard something as a need and the other one as a want. Sometimes it spoils our budget because we do not clearly differentiate what is needed and what is just a want. Next, as a student, need for a student. Now, you can see the pictures there. They represent what a student needs. Now, you as a human being, you need food, water, shelter, and clothing. But as a student, those are the items that you need. Your pen, your books, rulers, in order to function as a student. Now at the bottom right hand side, you'll see 14 things every student needs. But if you read those items that are there, they are psychological. There's something that you need psychologically. You can read them individually on your own time. But on the other pictures, those are items that you need. And as commercial students, as part of our commerce, we have to buy them, and they become part of our budget, part of our personal finance. We need to buy them, regard them as a need, and make sure we have them. We allocate our money to satisfy our needs. Next, your wants as a student. Now you'll see a bunch of these things that you would love to have and make your life as a student more comfortable. So these are the wants of a student. And maybe there are many things that are not in this list that you have here, and you would love to have them. They are your wants as a student. Now, worksheet, activity 1.1, student to be able to identify 5 personal needs and wants. You can either draw or paste the pictures. So on the left hand side, we have the needs and pictures. On the right hand side, we have the wants and the pictures, and they're supposed to be 5 items for the needs and 5 items for the wants. Now, the column for the needs, you have the first item, the number 1, you have to write down the name of the item that you need, the shop that you're going to buy from, and the price. Okay, so for example, you need a calculator, write down calculator, the shop that you're going to buy from, and then the price of that, and then the picture of the calculator. So you as a student, you have to write down the item, the shop, and the price in the column for need. That also applies for the column for wants. The column for wants will have the name of the item, the shop, and the price, and then the picture. So I want you to have that because we are going to use the information about the name of the shop and the price in the future activity. In the future activity or worksheet, we will get the name of the shop and the price. Next is worksheet prioritizing. Now, what is prioritizing? The dictionary says to list in order of importance. Now, so we get the definition over here. We can say that to prioritize is to list our needs and wants in order of importance. That is, number 1, Now, activity 1.2, it says that prioritize the needs and wants using activity 1.1, which is the previous list of needs and wants that you have just done in the previous slide. The same needs should come into this column for these needs, and the same one in that particular worksheet slide should come into this worksheet under ones. The only difference is you will have to put number 1 as the most important and urgent. For example, for the need, if your bag is torn, something is wrong with your bag, then you'll have to put your bag as your number 1. If bag was in that list, you need that, and then when you put it in this one here, you put it as number 1. You need that to be number 1 because you need to fix that. It's very important and it's very urgent. And you list them in order of importance. Now, all the students might not have the same list of items and do not have the same list under this priority. Now, you have to list it according to the way you evaluate your own needs and wants. So in this activity, there is no wrong or right, but you have to make your own evaluation, and you're not supposed to be copying because you just have to make it on your own. You do not need to copy someone else's needs. You might have a different need for yourself. So those are the things that we put in these pages. You have to list them in order of importance and urgency. Next topic is goal setting. All goals need to be SMART. So SMART is an abbreviation for certain things that or features that your goal must have. So S stands for specific, M measurable, and then achievable, relevant, and time bound. Those are the features of a goal setting. When you set a target, you must have a feature for that target supposed to have certain parts from the SMART. So specific, provide further detail about the goal. Measurable, how you will know when you have achieved the goal, so you have some measurable measures to keep track. Next one is achievable. Can this be realistically achieved? Next one is relevant. This is related to your dreams. And the last one is time bound. Is there a date set for the achievement of the goal? So most of the goals that we set must have this element of SMART. So there's another one given there: specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So those are all related to the features of having a goal setting. Now, by looking at the features of goal setting we have just seen in the last slide, we are going to set our goal from the worksheet that we have been doing. So now the worksheet long and short-term goal statement, those are the first one there. Short-term goal, what will be our short-term goal? Okay, this short-term goal is the most important item that you rank as number 1 in your priority list for needs. So on the left hand side, needs, when you write down your priority, the first one on top, priority number 1 in your needs, that will be your short-term goal. And long-term goal is written there, the most important item that you rank as number 1 in your priority list for wants. So in the previous slide, for the worksheet, on your priority, on the right hand side, wants, your priority list number 1, that will be your long-term goal. Now once we have identified the item, now that will be, we will write our goal statement. So our first goal statement for the need will be, I need to buy a name of the item, From, you go back to the first worksheet. We have written down the name of the shop we are going to buy from. For, and the price also written there. So that completes our statement for needs. Now, for wants, I want to buy a. Now we write down the item that was in your number one priority list for number one. That item will come here from the name of the shop. Okay, from your previous worksheet, the first worksheet, you write down the ones and the name of the shop and the price. So we'll come here, name of the shop for. Now we have a goal statement for your needs and wants, and that is how we set our goal. Okay, it's measurable, it's time bound. Now once we have there, we are set to achieve our financial goal. Now those are the lessons that we have learned from this lesson. Is to first identify our needs and wants, prioritize them, and we set the goals in order to achieve our financial goal. Now there is a mistake that some people normally write down in the exam. When you are asked to write down your goal statement, you will write down, I want to pass my year 13. I'm sure we are not talking about those goals. We are talking about our financial goals, because we actually prepare our needs and wants, the list, we prioritize them, and we set goals. So this is the goal statement that we look for when we give you the question in your exam. We are not interested in other kind of goals that are not financial, like I want to pass my year 13, like that. So keep that in mind when you answer this particular kind of goal statement. This is personal finance, and we keep it there. This is a topic on personal finance, and the question is basically for those kind and not the other kind of goal setting. That brings us to the end of our class. You can always go back and watch the slides again, and make sure your friends don't miss out on this class during this COVID time, and they can have their classes by watching them. So give a like, share with a friend, and subscribe so you do not miss out on the next video that is coming. And well, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye.